Isis, the one that follows, my name, I called it. Marduk remarked, "Your wisdom is fascinating, my father, but on Earth and Nibiru, government and knowledge are separate." "My son," replied Enki, "what are you talking about? What are you missing? I have bestowed all knowledge upon you." In agony, Marduk said, "My father, when the primeval workers were created, you called not my mother, but Ninma, who is the mother of Ninurta, and then they called for Ningishzida, who is younger than I am. Your wisdom about life and death was shared with them, not me." Enki interjected, "My son, you were given the command of the Igigi on Lamu. There, you are the leader." "Father," Marduk said, "you are the firstborn of Anu, not Enlil. However, he is the legal heir, and this place should rightfully be yours. You were the first to land and founded Eridu. But Eridu falls under Enlil's dominion, and your command has been delegated to the distant Abzu. As for me, I am your firstborn, born of your lawful wife on Nibiru. But now, gold accumulates in the city of Ninurta. The survival of Nibiru rests in your hands, not mine. Upon returning to Earth, what will my role be? Am I destined for doom? Will fame and royalty shape my future, or will I face humiliation once again?" Enki embraced his son on the desolate moon and assured him, "What I was deprived of, your future will encompass. My time will align with yours." Following this conversation, new calculations and exchanges of ideas ensued. Enlil, on Earth, felt apprehensive and shared his concerns with Anu. Meanwhile, Enki and Marduk spent countless years on the moon without any sign of their return. "What are they up to? Their actions remain a mystery and their intentions unknown," remarked Enlil. During this time, the situation grew worrisome. The Igigi on Lamu were restless and agitated. Marduk had distanced himself, and the intermediary station had suffered from dust storms, with no assessment of the damage. Everyone awaited a resolution. Enlil emphasized the necessity of constructing the spaceport in the Eden, while Ninurta advocated for its establishment in Bad Tibira. At that moment, Anu proclaimed his sacred decision. "Enki and Marduk will return from the moon. We shall listen to their accounts of their discoveries and then make a decision." The news revealed that the moon was unsuitable, leading Anu to decree the construction of a new spaceport. Enki spoke. "Let Marduk assume command then. The Igigi no longer require his leadership. Let Marduk guard the entrance of heaven." "This responsibility belongs to Ninurta," Enlil angrily retorted. Anu contemplated the situation, recognizing the rivalries between their sons. He then reached a decision. Neither Enlil nor Enki, neither Ninurta nor Marduk, the third generation of Annunaki, shall bear the responsibility for the spaceport. You two will be the commander. Let the place be named the Bird City, and let Sipar be its designation. Enlil began preparations for establishing the spaceport. He observed Nibruki and marked out an equal circle for the new location. Command was entrusted to Utu, the grandson of Enlil, as per Anu's decree, the king of Nibiru. Thus, a new era commenced. Anu graced the inauguration, accompanied by the Igigi of Lamu and the Annunaki from all corners. Inanna performed songs and dances, and it was a grand celebration. The gold was piled high, and a significant delivery was imminent, bringing forth direct supplies of golden salvation. The end of their arduous work drew near. Anu announced that the efforts on Earth might gradually decrease, and some Annunaki might return to Nibiru. "A few more shars of work, and soon they'll be home," he declared. Marduk did not return to Lahmu, nor did he accompany his father to Eden. He desired to explore all lands in his celestial ship, As a result, Utu was appointed to lead the Igigi, some stationed on Earth and others on Lamu. Everyone worked with great enthusiasm, exerting their final efforts to hasten their return. However, in the Abzu, the Anunnaki did not work as diligently. They expressed concerns that the Earthlings were multiplying and could potentially replace them in their tasks. News of this spread throughout the lands, and quickly the Anunnaki of Eden demanded primitive workers. There were 40 shars during which relief from work in the Abzu was granted, while in Eden there was no respite. While Enki and Enlil engaged in argument, Ninurta made an independent decision and led an armed expedition to the Abzu. In the forests, he captured several Earthlings and brought them to Eden. Enki was angered, and Enlil was furious. "You have disregarded my decision to banish Adamu and Tiamat from Eden," Enlil said to Ninurta. "I am preventing further rebellions," Ninurta defended himself. In Eden, the Anunnaki observed with admiration the labor of the Earthlings. These beings were gifted with intelligence and strength, assuming various responsibilities. However, males and females engaged in unrestrained procreation. The Anunnaki were dissatisfied with the available sustenance, as there were no grains or sheep. Enlil's fury intensified. He said for Enki, "May you seek salvation, may you find a solution." Enki took pleasure in the proliferation of terrestrial beings, but also held concerns. The Anunnaki distanced themselves from toil, and gradually the Earthlings became their servants. For 7 shars, the Anunnaki adjusted, but for 3 shars, fish and food were scarce. Both Anunnaki and Earthlings suffered from hunger. In his heart, Enki devised a plan for a civilized humanity. He meticulously observed and studied the new beings during their activities in rivers and forests, during work, copulation, and rest. Enki shared all his observations with his vizier, Izimud. Then, one day, while sailing in a boat, Enki encountered 2 striking young women of wild beauty. Izimud encouraged him, saying, "Embrace them and get to know them." Enki offered the ladies fruits and berries from the field, and afterward he embraced, acquainted himself with them, and deposited his life-giving fluid into their wombs. Izimud monitored whether the 2 would conceive, and indeed they did. Enki instructed Izimud, "Let no one discover what has transpired." In the 93rd shar since Enki's begetting, the 2 children were born in Eden. They were nurtured by their mothers and then brought to Enki's dwelling. Izimud conveyed that the 2 had been discovered among the reeds, thus preserving Enki's secret. Ninki, with affection, took the 2 children and raised them as her own. The boy was named Adapa, and the girl was named Titi. Ninki imparted knowledge to Titi, while Enki shared everything conceivable with Adapa. Enki confided all his delight to Izimud, proclaiming, "I have brought forth civilized mankind. I have brought forth civilized mankind. They will domesticate sheep and cultivate crops." Enki dispatched a message to his brother Enlil, informing him of the emergence of a new kind of being amidst the desert. Enlil personally journeyed from Nibruki to Eridu. Enki explained that these beings were quick learners and possessed the capacity to transmit knowledge and craftsmanship. "Bring forth seeds from Nibiru for them to sow. Bring forth sheep from Nibiru to populate the earth. Let us instruct this new class of Earthlings in agriculture and herding. The Anunnaki and Earthlings shall share the same table." Enlil was amazed. In fact, it was incredible. He asked Izimud to confirm, "Did you really find them among the reeds?" Enlil shook his head and contemplated everything with fear and astonishment. He decided to send the news to Anu. Anu was astonished. It wasn't new that one species led to another, but he had never heard of anything like this, the sudden appearance of civilized man on Earth directly from Adamu. Anu pondered whether large numbers would be needed for sowing and herding. Would they be able to multiply? While the sages of Nibiru contemplated the matter, Adapa and Titi met in Eridu. Conception and birth followed, and Titi gave birth to twin brothers. Anu heard the news and sent seeds and sheep to be raised on Earth. He made a decision. Titi should remain in Eridu to nourish and care for the newborns. While Adapa, the earthly one, would be taken to Nibiru. Enlil was not pleased with his father's decision. Who could have thought of such a decision? What would happen when Adapa was taken to Nibiru? He would travel between the sky and the stars, and would be endowed with this knowledge. Then, in Nibiru, he would drink from the waters and eat the food of long life. And then, he would become like the Annunaki. Enki was scared. His face turned dark after Anu's decision. He agreed with Enlil. Who could expect a decision like this? Ninma was with them. She said, "The sovereignty of our father Anu cannot be avoided." Enki spoke up. "Let's send our young ones to accompany him and see Nibiru with their own eyes. Let Ningishida and Dumuzi be with Adapa to calm and guide him." Ninma agreed. "They are our children born on Earth. Our generation is forgetting the cycles of Nibiru. Its cycles now follow the Earth. Let Enki's 2 unmarried sons travel to Nibiru. They may find brides there."
Interessante questa cosa di
Thus, a celestial chamber arrived from Nibiru in Sipar. Ilabrat, a vizier of Anu, came out of the ship.